What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about the brand new releases from Gait Lacrosse. They are coming out with some absolute heat. There's some good stuff in this box. I'm excited to dig into it, so let's go. Before we get started, this video is brought to you by Universal Lacrosse. If you are looking to buy any of the things that you might see in this video, I mean, not all the things, there's some random stuff in this box that wouldn't be available there, but if you're looking to buy any of these new Gait heads, head over to Universal, links in the description, and buy them. All right, so let's get into it. Big red toolbox, which is pretty cool, very cool actually. Big Gait sticker, it says Red Star Lax, Be Legendary on top right there. Sick old school metal toolbox. It's kind we all grew up with, I'm pretty sure. Now they're all plastic. All right, so like I said, I have already dug into this, so the whole hat change thing is just theater. I even wore this hat out to a practice already. I didn't do much in here. I didn't use any of the stringing supplies, but I did take the Gait D out to practice to string yesterday. All right, so to start, stringing supplies. Nice collection of shooters and sidewall. Piece of Hero 3. Semi-soft blue striker, nice looking mesh. 3 pieces of String King 4S. 3 pieces of String King 4S, that's awesome. Can opener, which is clever. Scissors, screwdriver, extra screws and ball stops, and this terrifying lighter. I'm terrified of it because when I was first holding it, I'm like, is this a flashlight? And I was about to click it on. I'm like, whoa, this might not be. My hand was here, over the end of it. I'm like, that might not be a flashlight. And I was like, oh yeah, that would hurt. So that's the top layer. I'm definitely going to turn this into my stringing box. Inside it says, let's get to work. Torq 2. Gait D, you guys have probably seen this on social media with the can opener, hooks, nuts. This is the GC3, and this is the Icon. So 4 heads total. I'm going to move the box so we can start talking about this stuff. So I think the one that people are probably most excited for is the Torq 2. This thing has generated a lot of buzz, this Gait D, because it's crazy. But we'll talk about the Torq 2 real quick first. All right, so the Torq 2. First of all, just looking at it, it's a nice face shape, but it's like a real kind of gradual flare here. It's nothing extreme, but it's what you'll see on the back stringing rail, the bottom back rail. It flares in here, so you can actually probably see the stringing holes from straight on because they kind of curve in, which will narrow your channel or narrow your pocket, give you a little more ball retention, shrink that pocket inside, more hold, probably more accuracy, with a tighter channel. I haven't strung it up yet. I'm excited to do it. I'll probably do that today. The top string holes, I think this is just like the last Torq. There's plenty of them, which I like. I really like. You're not dictated by the old days we had just 4, and then in more recent history sometimes they get 5, whatever. But this, I really like top strings. I like doing things differently with top strings. This is what I did on the D. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Just kind of wacky stuff. But anyway, that's something I enjoy. So I like that. I like all those options. Stringing holes, kind of like the Torq. They're a little small near the top. You can double up, but you probably won't be able to get through 3 times unless you really give your strings a tip by heating them and pointing them. The sidewall struts are different. They're all one direction now. They all head up this way, whereas I believe in the past there was another one, a cross strut that went this way, and it's lightened. I think this is 4.5 or 4.4 ounces, where the last one I believe was 5 or over 5. So they've lightened it up, and it definitely feels light. Cool new ball stop. Like 3D ball stop. Very nice. Feels good. A lot of nice texture on the head. You know, this crosshatch pattern throughout. The bottom rail is pretty sharp here. So a lot of heads these days have like a little bit of a flat section here where your knots would sit. This is kind of nice because, I mean, I find I'm a little worried that it'll, you know, with checks, it'll eventually wear through your knots, which really isn't a big deal. You know, you learn how to string, you fix it. And also sometimes, you know, if you do I don't know, like a special interlock and you want it to sit on top here, with it being this narrow, you might not be able to see it, but it's pretty narrow. It sometimes flops to either side, you know, even if you have it real tight. Sometimes you can just take your row of special interlocks and push them in, or from the inside push them out. So there might be some motion, some movement on your knots, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah, so this is the same way. It's got a pretty small, and so look, if I take these are mostly SIs, if I take them like this and just kind of push up, I can move the whole pocket kind of inside. And maybe SIs aren't the answer here, but we're not talking about that one yet. So on the card it says Torq 2 men's head, best for attack and midfield, 4.4 ounces, light. It definitely is light, and it's stiff. You know, for an offensive head, it's plenty stiff. Feels good. Easier to catch with than traditional narrow pocket heads. I could see that because it's got this nice gradual flare. But it, you know, your actual stringing holes are in closer than the outside of your head. So I don't know if this gives us a little extra width without affecting the pocket, like a D head sometimes does. You know, they add to the width, and then, you know, your pocket kind of spreads out. You get a little less of a channel. So I think you're going to be able to get a really nice channel out of this head. Tapered sidewall. So they're talking about this taper allows unbelievable accuracy and ball security. I could see that. Well, maybe it's this tapered sidewall here. It's not really a taper, is it? It's more of a flare. Anyway, terminology. It's beyond me. So the scoop, I can't remember the scoop on the Torq, but this is a nice looking scoop. I think they call it the speed scoop, and on the GC, on the icon they mention it on the tag. Ultimate scoop designed for accuracy and ground ball pickups, and I believe these are all roughly the same scoop, or maybe exactly the same scoop. Slight differences, but I think with the Torq and the icon, it's the same scoop. So it is a nice scoop. It looks like it's gonna work perfectly. Over just a beautiful head. I really am a huge fan, and you know, who isn't a Gait fan, right? We're all Gait fans, and everybody loves the Torq. So the Torq 2 is I think it's a must buy for you offensive players. Like, you're gonna want to get this one. You know, I like the fins and the weird stuff on the original Torq, but it wasn't for everybody. So what I think, by removing those on this one, they've made it a little more accessible to everybody. It's more of a general lacrosse head without the weirdness, and there is some, you know, unique this inward curve of the sidewall holes. There's some unique aspects to this head without being over the top. Whereas the icon, they've taken their inner stringing fins, extra holes, and they've added it to this head, which is great because I like the technology. I like it's fun, it's different, it's weird, and you know, you can see it here on the icon. The icon is a very pinched head. I guess we're talking about the icon now. Same scoop, same amount of top string holes, same sidewall strut configuration. Not same, but not totally different. Let's do this. Tags out. Yeah, I guess that's quite a bit different. Yeah, totally different. In fact, they're going different directions. So when I said same sidewall strut pattern, I meant the opposite of that. Totally different sidewall strut pattern. Tiny little opening here, big here. These are going from right to left on this one. This is going from left to right. So yeah, totally different. Feels lighter than the, oh, maybe not. It might be a little heavier, but it's still a very light head because this is a very light head. Curved offset technology. And a really nice looking offset. So like I said, the Icon has these fins that they're different than the last Torq, but they're a similar idea. I can't really figure out what I'm going to do with them. I mean, these fins up here are pretty straightforward, but these ones are, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. I'm sure there's some things I can do. Much narrower face shape, more aggressive offensive head, I think. Maybe this is a box head? Is this a box head? I don't know. Double sidewall creates wider catching area and narrowed channel pocket for optimal control. Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Ultimate scoop designed for accurate. Okay, so same scoop, new scoop. I love it. It's a good scoop. But this is a wacky head. This one's like a little different. This one's fun, and I'd have to dig into it and start stringing it up to really get an idea of how effective it is and what you can do with this stuff. But it's cool, and I'm glad that they hung on to a little bit of the weirdness that the Torq had, and it's not on the Torq 2, which I actually think is a good move. But they still made this. They have a fun kind of quirky head in the lineup, which is a good idea. All right, this is the Gait GC3 mid to high pocket. So this one just says quick scoop design reduces turf drag. So that's the quick scoop that this one and I believe the Torq 2 has. And this says ultimate scoop design, and this says quick scoop design. So maybe they are different. Mid to high pocket. Yeah. Fully offset. So yeah, I was just looking. The offset is nice on this. Look at that. So this has less top string holes. This only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top string holes again are a little small. You can double up, but it's going to be tricky to get it in 3 times. It's got the texture everywhere. So the face shape, you look at like the Icon. It's a little more aggressive, a little more pinch going on here. A little more aggressive flare, but really, really good looking face shape. Like this is just going to be a quality head, like good MIDI head. Our attack too. It's not all that stiff compared to the D head. Compared to the Torq, Torq 2 is stiffer. The Icon is it's about the same stiffness. Actually, the Icon is probably the least stiff. The Icon and the GC3, looking at their sidewall configurations, also their offset, they're very different. I think I really like how the Icon curves back upward. It gives you this nice mid-low pocket, low pocket for attackman. This might be a really nice attackman head. The GC3 has this real wide open window up here. It's actually very stiff, even with the decreased, missing one strut there. All right, so this is the Gait D. I wish I hadn't strung it up yet, just because it's nice to see them all in their virgin form, but I did. I couldn't wait. I had it out at practice last night, and I'm like, you know what? Head coach has West Jenny. I'm just going to sit and string this. And it was a pretty mellow practice anyway because it was pregame, so it was a good time to sit and string. Beautiful evening. It was like 75 degrees. Oh, it was nice. So you'll notice this is their D head. So the main thing that jumps out at you is these things, I'm sure, because this is what jumped out at me. This is called the can opener, and it says right on there, can opener. Hence the can opener in the toolbox. And this is just a takeaway tool. When I first showed this to my younger son, who's an attackman, he was like, no, that sucks. was like, what are you talking about? That's awesome. The canover, that's so cool. And he's like, no, that's war crimes. I'm like, he's like, as an attackman, those suck. I was like, oh, okay, I get where you're coming from. Yes, as an attackman, these are gonna suck. The canoper is gonna suck. And then I showed it to my older son, who was an LSM in high school, and he was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. He was fully into it. So, depending on your perspective, this is either amazing or terrible. War crimes. So I didn't have it on a handle last night, but I was walking around just trying to grab people's heads, like here. I mean, it really hooks. You can get the handle, you can get the gloves. This thing grabs whatever it wants. And as far as I can tell, it's legal now. I don't know how long it will be legal. I don't know how quick, rules change in regards to heads. Remember there was I don't remember what it was. It was the goalie head with the extra fins. That came and went because it became illegal. But these seem like they're really going to give an advantage to defenders looking for takeaways. It's just going to rip the ball out, or it's just going to disrupt enough. Grabbing the head here, in the sidewalls. It definitely can grab a shaft. Gloves, like I said. So it's going to dislodge the ball, and it's definitely going to do what it's designed to do. But if you are interested in this, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think order them now, because I hope it doesn't become illegal, because I'm really excited to see what it does, and I know we'll at least get to see a season out of it, or two. I don't know how fast the wheels of change spin, but if you want one, get one early, because they could become illegal. I hope they don't. So anyway, more about this head. Like, really nice looking scoop. There's the texture all over it. Big fat sidewall. Like, the actual rail that the knots sit on is narrow, like I said, but this part's nice and big. The flare, it flares inward and allows you to get a nice channel, even with a wider head. Yeah, it's a nice looking channel. I had to make sure, did I string a good channel? It's, pretty good. It's good for me. I think stringing this to the inside might be a really good idea. I found that because the sidewall holes kind of angle inward to shrink the pocket a little bit, I found that I wasn't able to get a lot of tension up top, so I just I started with a tie-off and then went SIs, actually KSIs. Like the first 1, 2, 3 knots are KSIs to help pull the top of the mesh outward, give it that tension that I like, and then I started going down with just regular SIs. And so that's all this is KSIs and SIs. But I think it works out pretty well. But I love this thing. So I always have offensive heads set up for myself, but I'm in love with this thing. I think it's just so wacky. Oh, look at the sidewall also. I mean, the profile. That's bonkers. This hard dip. I mean, everything about this is unique and weird, and I love it. So anyway, what I was saying is I played, I always have offensive sticks set up for myself for whatever reason, but I was a D-mid in, short stick D-mid in college, so, I may throw this on a shorty and just have it be my stick, because it's awesome. Especially in, you're playing passive D as a coach, from whatever kind of drill, just trying to takeaways with these things. I think it'd be fun. Hook a face mask, horse collar, back of the collar. I don't think it'll hold enough to cause people to get holding penalties, because it's not like it's curved inward where it really grips. I mean, it's rounded out here, so after the initial grab, any kind of pressure, pulling backwards, it's going to come off, but it's enough to dislodge the ball. It gives you just that little bit. Sometimes it really grabs. Right there. If you happen to go there, you're gonna take that stick away. But I don't think, as it starts to move, it's gonna come out. You're not gonna get. I don't think you'll get holding penalties, unless it gets hooked in something that it can't get out of. You know, like in the little window of a sidewall, it just jams in there. It could get stuck, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited to see these in action for sure. All right, guys, so this obviously wasn't a real detailed review because I don't know a lot about these yet. You know, I've only just pulled them out and looked at them. I liked stringing this a lot. It was tricky for me because I'm the kind of guy that uses every top string hole on a head with normal amount of top string holes, but this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on a 9 diamond top string. So I had to, you know, get a little weird, and I really liked the way it came out. Like I said, I pulled the mesh down and out just to give it the tension, but was still able to get a nice channel because of the way that the stringing rails are curved in. I'm excited to string the rest of them. You know, I think some of these are going to be pretty straightforward to string, and some not quite so straightforward. This is it's a very stringable head for defenders. You know, in the old days, I mean, you guys remember, defensive heads were just tennis rackets, and you know, to get a pocket you really had to do some funky things, and that always sort of jeopardized your throwing ability. But these days, you know, the way D heads are set up, you can really get a nice pocket. All right, guys, if you are interested in any of these, follow the links in the description to Universal Lacrosse and buy them. Gait, thank you for sending this over. This was an awesome box, great presentation, super fun, all the things inside. I had a blast watching people open them on Instagram. You know, building the hype, getting everyone fired up for these products. You did a heck of a job, and products, they're fantastic. Super excited to see what people do with them. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video.